Hey there and welcome back to TubeGuruji channel. Today we are going to build this beautiful taxi booking application with the help of React, Next.js 13, Typescript, Tailwind CSS, Mapbox API and the clerk. So let's walk through the application first and then we will talk about the technology and what we are going to build today. So if you see, once you launch on this particular URL, you need to sign in with the help of clerk. I'm going to teach you how to use clerk efficiently and to integrate in our application. So for example, I'm going to log in with the Google. So just click on Google and here you will get the option to sign in. So select the account. Once you select the account, then you will redirect to the home page and boom, here is the home page for the booking of your taxi. Okay, so on the top you will see this beautiful navigation bar. Okay, so we have few option. Also on the right hand side you can control on your own account. If I click on manage account, you will see all of these your details, and this we are going to implement with the help of clerk. Okay, then on the left hand side you will see the booking area where you can select the source address, the destination address. You can even select the cars which you want. Okay, the payment method, and on the right hand side you will see the Mapbox map. Okay, and if you see right now it's showing one marker which is my current location. It means it will show you your current location on the map. Now let's search and book the particular taxi. Okay, so let's search some address. So I will select where I want it from. Okay, so I will select it, and if you see, as soon as I type, it will give me the suggestion. Okay, the address suggestion. That also we will learn how to get the address suggestion. Okay, so if I select this one, Cali loop. Okay, then where I want to go, so you can add the destination address like this. Okay, again it will give me the be a lot of suggestions. You can select which you want. If I select it, immediately you will see the map is moved from source to destination, and it also showing the route for us. Okay, so beautifully, see. Okay, so this is the route for our source to destination. Also if you see, the for each of this car it giving us a price. Okay, so for this economies we are giving $26, for comfort it's giving $39, and so on. Not only this, but on the map, if on the right hand side you will see the distance, how much distance it is, and what time it will take to reach from your source destination to the destination. Okay, so this is beautifully implemented with the help of Mapbox. Now if you select any of this car, for example if I select this comfort, the button is enable, select the payment method and this, then click book. Once you click on the book, it will redirect to the Stripe payment gateway page. Okay, so right now we integrated the Stripe in our application instead of redirecting to the checkout page. Okay, it's inside our page. So now you can just enter the information. Not only this, but if you try to pay it, right, it will give the error, and then you can just enter this information. That's all. Okay, then you can add some future date, some CVV, and this is just testing purpose. Okay, and when click pay, it will pay the amount and it will store in our Strappy dashboard. If you see, right, let me go back to the home page, and if you see, we have this or payment method in the dashboard. It will show it on the screen. Okay, how much you got, everything. Okay, so I hope you understand this one, what we are going to build today. And if you have any question throughout the course, you can ask me in, uh, in the comment section, or you can directly reach out to me on my Instagram channel and follow me there as well. Also, if you see, you can even move this particular map. It's beautifully integrated. You can add the route. We beautifully added the route, and don't worry, I'm gonna teach you everything from the basic. Okay, if you don't know anything, don't worry, because we're gonna learn Next.js 13, and this complete course is for beginners. Okay, also we are going to build APIs. We are going to integrate Mapbox, and we will call the Mapbox different types of APIs, and to implement this beautiful application. So guys, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe, press like button, and if you really want to join my video, please join, then you will get early access to these videos. Okay, so guys, before doing any further delay, let's begin. So in this course, we are going to use Next.js to build our application. Okay. And if you go to this nextjs.org, here you will find the documentation and all the details. Okay. And we are going to use app router in the Next.js 13. So let's get started. Okay. And if you want to create a project with the Next.js, here is the command to run the to create the project. Okay. So go to desired folder. Okay. And open the command prompt, and then you can just type npx create next app at latest. Okay. And if you see, this is the similar command I am using. Okay. So if you put the at latest, it will generate the Next.js 13 project, and if you did not put at latest, it will generate a normal Next.js project. Okay. So just hit enter, and then it will ask you the project name, so you can give taxi go YouTube. Okay. Then it will ask, do you like to use TypeScript? So yes, because in this case we are going to use TypeScript. Then you want to use ESLint, say no. The Tailwind CSS, say yes. So you don't need to externally add the Tailwind CSS. It automatically create or add or integrate the Tailwind CSS for you. Say yes. Then do you like to use source directory? Say no. At the app router, say yes. And the customize default import allies, say no. Okay. And if you see, now it's installing all the required dependency for our application, including React, Next, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, and React DOM as well. Okay. Also, as I told you, we are using the app router for this Next.js 13 application. Okay. If you see, our application get created. Now let's go to our application. Okay. Just type cd, or you can directly open your application as well. Just type in code. Okay. Space and the name of your application. So in this case, it's text.go. It's supposed to be actually taxi, but we'll change the name. And once you type code, it will open your project in VS Code directly. Okay. So if you see, our project is open in VS Code. So our project is gets created successfully. Now let's talk about the file and folder structure in Next.js 13 application. So on the left hand side, you will see all our files, right? And if you see, the first folder is app folder. Okay. Where we are going to write our all application, all the routing of the pages, everything will come in this app folder. Okay. And the default, if you see, we have the page.tsx, right? In the previous Next, we have the index.tsx, but in this case we have page.tsx, which is our default page. And this is layout.tsx, where it defines the layout including the metadata. Okay. And if you see, we have this children here, so whatever the pages components getting load is loading between this body tag. Okay. Inside this children, then we have this global.css, including all this styling, uh, which is common for all the throughout the application. Okay. That we are defining in global.css. And if you see, this tailwind css automatically integrated in our application as well. Then we have this public folder, which we can keep all our images, assets which we required in our application. You will get to know how to use it. Okay. Also in app folder, we will learn how to create a new routing and everything. Then we have this next.config.js, which include all configuration related to the next application. So it's including the adding the image domain, and then you will get to know how to use this next.config.js, and we are going to use this one. We need it. Then we have this packet.json, which include all the script to run this application, and the dependency which is installed in this for this application. We are going to also add some few dependency in this one. Okay. So we'll learn how to do it. Then we have this post css.config.js and tailwind config.js, which is required to configure configuration for the tailwind css. Okay. So it automatically is there. And whenever you create a folder, make sure, if you are creating out a folder in the root directory and the name is not included here, okay, make sure to add it, so that that tailwind css styling is applicable to that folder as well. Okay. So this is very important. Now let's run the project. Okay. As I told you, the layout.js here inside this body tag, all our page get rendered. Okay, and this is the default page which going to render first. So here in terminal, click new terminal, and inside here just run npm run dev. Okay, so this is a command to run the application. And if you see, right, our server is ready and it started on the port 3000. Okay, and this is the url to access it. So just copy it, go to your web browser and paste it here like this. Okay, so now once you paste it, right, it will take a few seconds to build it. Okay, and if you see here, right, it's getting compiling and everything, and once it's built you will see the ui like this. Okay, now if let me put this on the left hand side. Here if you see, it's similar structure. Okay, let me close this one. The guest started by editing, see, app.js, so, everything, right? Let's do one thing, let's remove everything. Okay, and here I will add the simple div, and inside there I will add h2 tag. Okay, like this, and we'll say subscribe to TubeGuruji. Okay, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. And if you see, the subscribe to TubeGuruji is displaying, and you will see this gradient effect, right, the lines. That is because in global.css inside this root, right, this particular styling or css styling is applied. If I remove this and save it, you will see the plain background. Okay, so you can apply the background from here. It's up to you how you want to apply. Okay, and this is applicable throughout the application. And in page.tsx, where our application, you can write or start to writing this code. Okay, so right now if you see the url as well is a default url. Okay, if you want to go like about, obviously you need to create a new folder called about, and inside that you have to create a page.tsx file. Okay, and it will give them that new route. Okay, so we'll get to know once we start developing this application. Now we are going to use clerk for our user authentication, and clerk is one of the best pre-built authentication system. Okay, and it's completely free up to 5000 users. Okay, so it's more than sufficient for the development purpose, or you can go directly with the google cloud to integrate the google authentication. Okay, and you can watch my some of the previous video where you can learn how to manually integrate the google authentication. But in this particular tutorial we are going to use clerk. Okay, it's very simple. So first of all, create a new account, and once you create an account, you will go to the dashboard and you have to create a new application. Okay, and inside that you will find the api key. I will let you know how to do it. Okay, but before that, let's go to the documentation and go to the next.js. Okay, on the left hand side, where for that one we are going to build, right? Say let's get started. And here first of all we need to install this particular dependency for the clerk. Okay, so copy it, and then go to your application, and inside the terminal add a new terminal and paste it here. Okay, next, if you scroll down, right, these are the environment variable we need to add in our application. So copy it, and then if you see, right, this is we have to add .env.local file. Okay, so here in the root folder create a new file called .env.local, and inside that add this two api keys. Right now here it pre-populated because I already log into this particular clerk. Okay, and once you go to the documentation it will automatically populate. You don't need to go and copy paste the api key. Okay, then if you scroll down, we have to add this clerk provider. Okay, we have to wrap the content of our html inside this clerk provider. Okay, so copy this one, go back to our application, and inside the layout. Okay, so you have to go to this app folder. Inside that we have this layout.tsx, and here just paste this clerk provider in the tag and make sure to import. Okay, so if you see, this clerk provider is importing from clerk/next.js. Okay, now save everything. Now if you see, right, if you go back to our application, nothing get changed. Okay, or let's you can just stop this one. Okay, let me stop. Even though you do not stop, right, it's built, and if you see, nothing is get changed. Next, if you scroll down, we have to add this middleware.ts, and in that we have to paste this all this content. Okay, so just copy this file name, go to your application, and inside the root folder we have to create this file middleware.ts. Okay, and inside that you have to paste all of this content. So copy it and paste it here and save it. Next, if you scroll down, you have to create this sign up and sign in page. Okay, this is the our own sign up sign in page. Okay, so it will not navigate their authentication URL. It will be in our authentication or inside our application only. That's the reason we are going to create this particular pages. Okay, very easy. Just inside the app folder we have to create a new folder called sign up. So inside the app folder, create a new folder called sign up. Inside that folder we have to create another folder. Okay, so if you see that, that is a double bracket dot 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 sign up. Okay, same inside the sign up we have to create this folder, and then we have to create page.tsx file. So just create another file page.tsx inside that, and copy this content and paste it in that one and save it. Okay, next similar thing we have to do for the sign in. Okay, so just copy this sign in name, create a new folder again in app folder called sign in. Inside sign in folder we have to create another folder, copy this one and paste it, and inside that we have to create this folder called page.tsx, and then copy this code and paste it here like this and save it. Okay, as simple as that. Now next we have to add this 4 line of code. Okay, this is a routing environment variable inside the env.local. Okay, so we just created this env.local. Inside this we'll add these 4 lines and save it. Okay, and for testing purpose we can add this user button inside the page.tsx. Here we can add it like this, and make sure to import this one. Okay, I will copy it and paste it here and save it. And once you save everything, let's go back to our application and see our sign in page is ready. Okay, let's go back to the 3000 port, and directly it will jump to the sign in page because we did not log in to the application yet. Okay, so it will ask you this particular authentication system called Facebook, Google, email address, and everything. Okay, if you go to this dashboard of the clerk, right, and you can open any of them, and here you have the API keys. You will find API keys. Okay, then in that user authentication, right, in social connection you will find the Google, Facebook, Apple, GitHub, whatever you want, you can just enable it. Okay, and that will be on your particular page. Okay, so maybe I am using different one, but this one I think so, that's the reason it's open the Facebook. If I remove the Facebook, right, and then if I go back to our application and refresh the screen, now Facebook will be not there, only Google is there. Okay, this is how it works, and this is how simple it is. Once you log in, let's log into our application. Okay, and once you log in, it will jump on this page and you will see this user profile page. This is coming because we added this user button. Okay, and if I click on it, right, you will see the option is beautifully is coming up, right, the manage account or sign out button as well. If I click on manage account, you will see all the details called where you log in, you can delete the account, you have all the um, option available. Okay, you can add in the extra email address, or inside account you have all the information and everything. You can even change the images. Okay, so this all functionality you don't need to integrate your own. It's already provided by clerk. Okay, that's the reason we are using clerk for this application. I hope you understand this one. Don't worry, it's completely free. You will not ask any credit card, anything. Okay, you can try it and let me know in the comment section how you feel about this one. Okay, and you really like it, then please let me know as well. And still, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. So now we will add the custom font for our application. Okay, and if you go search for the font for the Next.js, right, you will see this particular page called font optimization, and it's quite easy to use, right? You just need to import the font which you want on from this import statement. Okay, then you have to write this subset, and then you have to just add that as a class name. Okay, I will let you know how to do it. First, you can find whatever the font you want, right? I'm searching this, but I like this outfit font, so I'm going to use this outfit. Okay, and let's go back to our application. And here, right, inside this layout.tsx, here you will see this import inter, right? The this is the default font. So here you can just add outfit. See, it's coming up. Okay, so add this outfit, and then you have to replace this outfit, right? Here we don't want inter, so I will change this one, and we'll give the name, the constant name as outfit, and just you have to use this constant outfit in the class name inside this body. Okay, and save it. Now once you save it, you will see this particular font is changed. Okay, so this is how easy you can change the font of your application. Okay, and if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. You can use multiple font. For example, if you want railway, for example, this is also one of the favorite. Okay, and if I add this font, okay, and you can use globally if you want. Okay, and if I save it, see, the font is changed. Okay, this is how easily you can change the font, but for this application we'll use the outfit only. Now let's add the navigation bar. Okay, so inside the root folder we create a new folder. Okay, and we have to make sure the name of the folder should be components. Okay, means don't spell mistake, because otherwise the Tailwind CSS class will not get applied. Okay, so here in the root folder I will create the component folder, and inside the component folder I will create the navbar.tsx file. Okay, and now you can add the default template. Okay, so here, in order to add default template, I am using one extension, and with that, if I click on RFC, you will see the template is get added. Okay, so for that one, in VS Code we have one extension. Okay, which called the ES7 React Redux. Okay, make sure to install this extension. So every time for the React or React Native application, you don't need to write the default template. Okay, just few within type with few word, the default template will get created. Also, make sure to install the Tailwind CSS extension. Okay, so this will help us to give the or to write the Tailwind CSS classes. Okay, it will give the suggestion and everything. I will let you know how. So once you added this navigation bar, make sure to import this component inside the page.tsx. Okay, so obviously we want to use navigation bar throughout the application, so instead of putting in page.tsx, we will add in layout.tsx. So before this children, right, we will add that one. So just add the nav bar. Okay, so even though page change, this navigation bar constant throughout the application. That's the reason we added in the layout.tsx instead of page.tsx. Once we add it, make sure it's showing on the screen. See, sorry. And now our navigation bar component is showing on the screen. Okay, now let's go back to the navigation bar, and let me open the application as well side by side. Okay, so here let's remove this one, and let's add one div. Inside this div I will add the logo first. Okay, so in the public folder I already added this logo. Okay, you can create or you can use my existing one, and the source code is in the description. So once you added this image in public folder, right, you can directly access it. But before that we have to add the image tag. That image tag we are importing from the next slash image. Okay, then the source, here we have to give the path of that particular logo.png, and that you can give directly like this .png. You don't need to give a complete path, because we Next.js, right, when you whatever you put in public folder, it can be accessible directly like this. Okay, then we have to add alt tag called logo, and once we add the alt tag, the error is gone. Okay, let's add the width. So in this case we will add the width of 120. You can add the height 60 and then save it. Okay, you refresh the screen. Okay, so let me check why it's not showing. Maybe we just rerun the project. Sometimes due to the cache issue, uh, the application will not run properly, but just make sure you will rerun the project. Okay, and we will wait for a few more seconds, and we see the project is run and the image is showing on the screen. Okay, then after this, we will add one more div tag for our list of menus. Okay, so here in h2 tag I will add first list called home, then I will add the few more called history, and then I will add one help. Okay, and save it and see all three are showing. Now to make it in one line, right, you can just add class name called flex and save it. Okay, next I will add this button right on the header. So what I will do, we added this in page.tsx, we don't want it here, so I will cut it from here and I will paste it in navigation bar tsx file after this div. Okay, and make sure to import this one. So let's add the import statement. So add it here like this. Okay, so it's importing from the next/next.js at the clerk. Okay, and let's save everything. If you see, everything's coming. Okay, now first uh let's bring everything in one line. So for this div, let's add class name called flex like this. And then for this div as well, because in this particular sub div, right, we added this image and this particular menu. So we'll add the class name to be flex and save it. Okay, and for this flex I will give gap of maybe 6. Okay, and save it. Also for this flex I will give gap uh, of 10 and make sure to make the item to be in the center and save everything and see it look beautiful. Okay, and for this parent div we just make justify between and save it and see it's work perfectly fine. If I increase the screen size, this is how it looks. Now another thing, we will give some padding. So let's add a padding of 3 and I will add padding of x axis to the 10. Okay, and it will look like this. See, perfectly looks good, right? Also, when the screen size is smaller, right, I don't want to show this menu bar, right, because it's going inside this particular user's profile pic, right? So what we can do, we can just hide it. Okay, so when the screen size is medium, we can just hide it, and when the screen size is medium, sorry, when the screen size is small, we will hide, and when the is medium, we'll make it as a flex like this and save it. Now see, when the screen size is smaller, it's hiding, right? If I increase the screen size, it's showing on the screen. Okay, looks good. Now let's add some styling to these particular buttons, right, on a hover effect. So what we can do, for this class name, we'll add hover effect and we'll say background gray 100. Okay, then I will give padding of 2. Then we'll make rounded corner to be medium and save it. And if you see, if I hover on it, let me close this one. See, it's beautifully hovering effect is coming. Correct. So also I will add the cursor pointer, and for transition effect you can add the transition all. Okay, and same thing you have to copy for all of this others menu. Okay, so add class name and save it. And now if you see, I don't know what the help is there. Okay, for this one and save it. And if you see, perfectly coming, right? Perfect, that's what we wanted. Also we will add one border at the bottom for this particular navigation bar. Okay, so for this parent div, Let me bring this down, and here we will add the border at the bottom only. So we can just write bottom and the size. So when you are giving the size in double brackets, right? Sorry, in square brackets, then it means you are giving the custom size. Okay, and you can give in the pixel and save it. And see, the border is coming on the screen. If I increase the size width to 4, see, it will look like this. Okay, so this is how you can show it. You can also add the shadow if you want. Okay, so this is how it look when you add the shadow. Okay, you can add small, medium, depends on your choice, but for now I will keep as it is and with the small shadow with the border. Okay, if I remove the border, so it will look like this, but let's keep the border as well. Okay, so it looks beautiful. See. Okay, perfect. Now we will divide our screen into two section. Okay, and this is very important to update the layout, right? Let me show you how we want to display, right? If you see this particular prototype, on the left hand side we have this booking area, and on the right hand side we have this map, right? And this is what we are going to divide the screen, okay, in such a way that we can add the both the things in one screen. So first of all, let's go to the our application, and let's remove this subscribe to TubeGuruji. And then here let's add one div. Okay, so add new div here like this. Okay, and inside that I will add the class name. I will mark it as a grid. Okay, so also I will make grid of column 3. Okay, and save it. Now inside this grid we need to mention these columns. Okay, so right now we are going to use two column. One is for booking and one is for map. Okay, but we define the three column, right? So two column we will assign to this map. So in order to do that, right, class name, inside the class name the Tailwind CSS provide a property called column span. Okay, and 2. So if you see that grid column 2, so two column is assigned to this one and the remaining column is assigned to this one, which is 1, right? So 2/3 is to this map and 1/3 is to booking, and save it. Once you save, see, you will see the layout, right? And if I increase size, it will look like this. Now one more thing, in order to get better understanding, what I will do, I will add the background for this one. Okay, so I'll have blue 100. We will also add some background to this. Okay, see, now you will get better understanding. So 1/3 of this screen is assigned to the booking and 2/3 is assigning to this map. Okay, also, when the screen size is smaller, right, I want booking at the top and then the map at the bottom, or vice versa. It's up to you, right? So what we can do, you can give this grid when only when the screen size is medium or larger, and when the screen size is smaller, we can just mention grid column 1 and save it. Okay, and if you see, it will look like this, right? When I increase the screen size, it will be in two column, but when screen size decrease, it will be in one column only. Okay, also if you want the map at the top, you can just mention here order and first. Okay, and if you see, it switches, but normally the map coming here and booking coming here, right? But when the screen size change, it will change, right? But this particular functionality you can apply only when the screen size is smaller. When the screen size is medium, you can mention order last. Okay, so if I increase size, map will be on the right hand side. So what we expected. Okay, I hope you understand this one, but right now I don't want this order thing, so I will remove it and I will save like this. Okay, perfect, guys. If you don't know how to use this everything, right, you can just go to the Tailwind CSS site. Okay, and here you can just search. So if you want to search grid, right, and here you will see the grid template, how to use row, how to use columns, and everything, the order, how I order, right, 1 2 3, the last, first, everything will be here. Okay, so if you face any issue, just search it, you will find the solution. Okay, on the Tailwind CSS documentation. So until now, if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Now we will start implementing this booking section first. Now in the booking section we will add the address search fields. Okay, so we want to add two input field. One is for where to start, okay, the user's location, and the destination location. Okay, that's two field we want to add. So for that one, let's go to the component folder, and inside the component we will create a new folder called booking. Okay, so all the booking section will keep it here, and we will create another folder called map. Okay, so these two folder we created, so all related components which we are showing in the booking section will come under this booking folder. Inside the booking we'll create new file called booking.tsx. Okay, and add the default template, and make sure to add this booking component inside the page.tsx. Okay, so in this booking section we will add, so let's add booking and save it. Okay, next if you see, right now it's just showing booking, but if you change something, booking component, and save, see booking component is coming. Okay, now inside the booking component we will have different sub components, okay, or child components. The first we will add it as a complete address dot tsx. Okay, and add the default template. So make sure to add this autocomplete in booking.tsx. Okay, because here we are going to put all the booking related component into this booking.tsx, and we already added this booking component into the page.tsx. Okay, so just add autocomplete complete address, and then save it. And if you see, the autocomplete address is showing now on the screen. Okay, perfect. Now let's implement this autocomplete address component. Okay, so here first of all, in booking.tsx we will define the, or we will give the name. Okay, so inside this one I will add the h2 tag, and inside the h2 tag we will add the word called booking, and save it. Okay, here let's add some styling. So I will add a class name which is, will make text of 20 pixel, and font I will make semi bold. Perfect. Also we'll give some padding to this whole booking section. So let's give padding of 5, like this. Okay, and this autocomplete address will come under this one. Okay, now go to the autocomplete address, and here we'll add the one div. Okay, which is for the first input, and here we'll add the label called where from. Okay, and question mark, see, like this. We'll give some maybe margin top to 5, like this. Then we will add the input field. So let's add input of type is equal to text, okay, and the tag. See, right now it's not showing, but it's here. Okay, it's somewhere here. See, okay. Now after this we'll add the styling, maybe a class name. So we'll get background to be white. Then we'll add padding of 1, and border will add as a 1 pixel. Okay, then we'll add the width to be full. So let's add width full, so it will come down like this. Okay, and this is what we wanted. Also I will make rounded corner to be medium. Okay, perfect, like this. And if I click on it, right, you see the black outline is coming, so I don't want that outline. So remove this outline by using this outline dash none. Okay, and behind this particular class we have this css outline, and outline offset 2 pixel, and save it. And now we don't have that particular style. Also when we focus on it, right, I want to change color. So just on focus we'll change color to yellow 300. You see, okay, so this is what it changed. But I don't want complete background, so we don't want background actually. So just say border here. See, this changes. Okay, also I will give some styling to this one. So let's add text, maybe gray 400, and save it. Okay, perfect, like this. And now same thing you have to copy paste for the another input. So I will copy the same div and paste it here and save it. okay, and we have where from. So just for this div I will give some margin top to maybe 3, okay, and we'll say here where to and save it. Okay, perfect. So these two input we added. Okay, another thing in booking.tsx, okay, here I want to add the border to this complete booking component. Okay, so for that one what we will do, we will wrap this, uh, let's wrap this autocomplete address inside one div, put this here, okay, and let's give class name, let's say border of one pixel, okay, and see the border is coming. Let's give some padding to 5, okay, so it will look like this. You can remove this padding if you don't want it, okay, and then we'll make rounded to be medium. Okay, perfect. Now right now if you see, right, the height is, if I increase size, right, it's not look good to me. So we want complete full screen height, right? So what we can do, first of all let's define um, constant, say screen height is equal to window dot, and here we have property called inner height, okay, and now this height you can mention to this class name, okay, or you can define like this style. Inside style you can define height, and then the value of the height, right, the constant name you can give. And if I save it, see it's coming like this, right, but I don't want this scroll, see the scrolling, right? So to avoid this one you can just multiply this height with some value, right, 0.72, and save it. And now if I increase size, see it's particularly showing on this one, right? Now depends on, if you decrease size obviously the it calculate the inner height, and depends on that it will show, so you don't need to scroll vertically, okay, so that's thing we are avoiding. And also we have perfectly added this particular input box. Now next what we can do, we're gonna change this input text to the autocomplete, okay, and for that one we are going to use a API to get, once user type it, right, we want to get suggestion from that API. So that's what we are going to implement, and for that one we are going to use Mapbox search API, okay. So next we'll learn how to create account in Mapbox, and how to use and how to create the API from it. So we are going to use Mapbox to add map in our application. Also, we are using Mapbox for direction, as well as to find the address. Okay. So right now Mapbox is completely free. If you go to the pricing, right, and here you will see the pricing of this each of the API, right. If you are trying to find direction API, the 1 lakh request monthly is completely free, okay, and which is more than sufficient for a small business or for the development purpose also, okay. So right now if you don't have any account, okay, then create a new account, and once you create an account you will see the dashboard like this, okay, and here you will find the public key. This public key we need for our API, as well as to add the map in our application as well, okay. So before that, let's jump on the documentation of the map box, okay, and very quick. So right now first thing we are going to use is the search box, okay. This search box is used to to autocomplete our address, okay. And here if you see the documentation, right, you will find all the information regarding the API, how to use it, everything, right. And if you see, the we have to just pass the query, okay, and then it will return the result. I will show you the example as well. Also you can just try it here, okay, and if I try to search like 155, right, and this particular drop down where we are getting this list of addresses, right, this particular things we are going to implement, and that's the reason we are going to use this search box API, okay. So you have this API and everything, right, and here there's a sample result, okay, sample response, or how to use it, everything is there, right. If you see, along with the API key, you just need to pass generated UUID and this ID, okay. So let me show you an example directly by running it on the screen. So I already have API with all the fields ready. And if I enter it, right, you will see I'm passing this 155 Cali loop as address, right, means just typing it, and I'm getting a bunch of suggestion. Okay, and this suggestion you can show in your autocomplete drop down menu. Okay, so let's go back to our application. We have our API almost ready. Okay, and this is how we are going to use. Okay, so inside this app folder, let's create a new folder called API, and inside the API folder we will create another folder called let's create a folder actually, so called search address. Okay, and this is our API endpoint. Okay, and inside that we will add the route.js or tsx like this. Okay, now we're gonna use this route as our default route. Okay, means for the search address. Here you have to add export. Okay, then default, and or maybe not default, but we can make a function. So async function. Okay, async function, and the function name will be a get, because this is a get request, and here we will pass the request. Okay, and inside this request we will just try to return the next response. So just write the next response, which is importing from this next server, and then you have to write .json. So okay, and here we'll pass some in paste as a response. Okay, and here you can pass any. Okay, like this, and save it. Once you save, let's go back to our application. Okay, here now you can access this endpoint using /api slash search dash address. Okay, and save it. And once I hit enter, see the response. In the response we are getting data and text. Okay, perfect. Next, now let's implement the actual call for that particular API, right? So before that, in .env.local I created one environment variable called Mapbox access token, and just pasted this access token. Okay, and this access token you will get it from your dashboard. Okay, this is very important. So get this token and paste it in your local file. Then inside the root.jsx, now whatever, if you see, right, let me, okay, here if I put question query, okay, and pass anything, right, this value we need to fetch it first. Okay, because this value is important to pass it to the API. So to get that value, we just need to write constant. Here we can write search params, okay, is equal to new URL, and here we will get the request.url. Okay, maybe this dot url. After this, we'll get this value in a search text, text constant is equal to search params. Okay, and dot get the value, and which value we want, we want to get, right, from that parameter name we want to pass. So in this case is q. You can pass it as a input, and then input need to be pass it here. Okay, that value we need to pass. Now we have search text. Let's just make sure that search text we are getting. So I paste it here, save it, and you will be here and enter it. Okay, so right now we are getting some issue. Let's see what's the error. Okay, so just refresh it. Okay, or you can go back here and make sure it's login, and then try to access the API endpoint. Okay, the reason is sometimes it's not authorized because the session get expired. Okay, because we are using clerk, and it's checking whether the session is valid or not. Okay, so right now if you see, the data is working. Okay, so let's go back to our application here, and let's implement the other code, so we can able to get the search text. Okay, now here we will write constant result is equal to await fetch, and inside that we will add the actual URL which we want to fetch. Okay, so this is the base URL that we are going to use. Okay, the API mapbox.com, and this is for the search box. Okay, and after that I'm just passing the query and the session ID. Okay, so if you see right here, we will add the base URL plus the query which is search text, and then um, here is the session token which we are passing. Okay, which session we need to add, and the country. Right now it's a US, that's why the you will get only the addresses from the US. Okay, if you are from India, you can just I change this to IN. Okay, or you can also access or pass the country over here, okay, as a second parameter. Once you're done with this one, you have to make sure you will also add the header. Okay, so you have to add the headers, and in that one you have to add content, sorry, the content type, which is obviously the JSON. Okay, so like this. And once you're done with this one, you just need to get the result. So constant search result is equal to await, and it will be a result dot JSON, sorry, result dot JSON. Okay, and this one you have to send it to the search result and save it. Now go back to application and search this one. Okay, so right now if you get authorization issue, okay, let's try it again, API, and search it. If you see, it's not authorized, no token. Okay, because here we did not pass the token. Okay, so we have to pass the access token as well, and that access token, sorry, this access token which we stored in a .env file, right? So the Mapbox access token, this one we pass and save it. Now let's refresh it again, and if you see, we got the result. Okay, and in that result we got our multiple result. Okay, so right now we got the three result. Now here is thing, you can also change this limit. Right now it's 6 limit. You can search up to 10. Okay, you will get the up to 10 result. So here I will change to 8, that is maximum. I want to get the result in this particular response. And then this particular sorry, the this full address we are gonna show it on the search bar. Okay, so that's what we are going to do now. And until now, if you have any question, any doubts, let me know in the comment section. And now we will implement the autocomplete feature in our application, right? So we are gonna call this particular API actually in our application to get the required result, and then we will show it in the drop down. Okay, in this input along with the drop down as well. So now what we can do, we can call our the search address API inside our application. Okay, so obviously inside this autocomplete address, right, if you see, this is what we have in the autocomplete address. So here we will call our API. Okay, so we can call constant get address. Okay, and it will be a async, so like this. Okay, and inside this we'll say constant result, we'll use fetch, and this is our API endpoint, right? Search address, okay, question mark. And here we will pass the value which we want to get it, right? So whenever user input some value, this value we will pass it here. Okay, so let's define that particular state. So we'll state define constant source. Okay, so this is the source address, and set source is equal to use state, like this. Okay, and I will put any type. Okay, and here we will pass the source. Okay, then obviously after this one we have to pass the header. Okay, the header value, so I will just copy this header value like this. Okay, after this we have to define constant result, we'll get the result from this result.json. Okay, so result.json, like this. Okay, and obviously this need to be await, so let's make it await. And what else? So because we are getting error, right? The JSON does not exist of type promise. The reason is we made this function async as well. Okay, and just we'll call get list meaningful name. We'll see that one. And here we have to set this whatever the result we are getting, right? This result value we have to set it. Okay, and also make this fetch await so that this error will gone. So we'll define one more constant here, the address list. Okay, comma set address list, so it contains all the address which we are getting from the search suggestion. Okay, and is equal to use state, okay, of type any. Obviously I will pass the empty for now. And to set the address, just you set address list, and here we will set the result. Okay, the whatever the result we are getting, we will set it to this address list. Okay, now obviously we have to call this function in use effect. So use effect, okay, like this. Okay, and for now I will pass the empty value and save it. Now whenever the input change, right, we have to make sure we will call this get address list. Okay, so obviously here we will add the on change method. So on change, and here I will say set source. Okay, and obviously this is the event key, and event dot target dot value, so it will get the actual value. Okay, so once user input something, we will set the value in the set source. Okay, and once the set source value changes, obviously we have to call this use effect method. Okay, so that get address list will get updated. So here I will say uh, source. Okay, whenever the value of source change, this use effect will get called. That's the reason I'm passing this source. Okay, also not every time I want to change, because sometimes user type every time we are calling that API. Okay, and to avoid that one, what we can do, we can add the some timeout. Okay, so you can just set timeout, okay, like this, and you can call this get address list inside this one. Okay, and here you can pass how much, after how much time you want to execute this. Okay, so after 1 second I'm going to call this one. Okay, but here as well, let's define constant for this one. So I will define this bounce function, and I will also close this one. Okay, so what you can do, you can just return it and clear this timeout like this. Okay, so I just clear out this timeout, and whenever this is executing, uh, every whenever user type something, right, if user type 10 words, for every word this user effect getting execute, right, and after 1 second this getting called. But if you put this one, right, obviously it will clear the time for the next iteration. Okay, this is very important. It might feel you confusing, but you can check the code, pause the video, and just watch it out, just understand this particular logic. Okay, now obviously we got this one. Okay, and now we have this address list as well. So here we also set the value, so value nothing but will be the source. Okay, now we have everything, but we need to show the address or suggestion address list in the drop down, right, this so that user can pick it up, right? So here we will add the list of address list. Okay, so let's add the, just iterate the list. Okay, so dot suggestion. Okay, so here we have the suggestion as a field. Okay, dot map. Okay, and then we will map it, index of type number, and this of type any. And after this we'll add the, and we will add the h2 tag. Okay, like this, and inside that we'll just add item dot we can add item dot the full address. Okay, though we have the full address, we are showing the list of address. Okay, and just make sure I will wrap this everything in one div. Okay, like this, and save it. Okay, now if I go back, so if you see, right, we have the issue in map cannot read property of map. Let's make sure it will be. The reason is, right, you might get this error because right now the address list I don't have anything, right? So in order to avoid this issue, right, what we can do, we can just wrap this complete div in one condition. If the suggestion is there, okay, so obviously the stupid suggestion is there, right, then only show this data, otherwise show null, like this. Okay, and now try it. If I save this one now, let's refresh the screen. If you see, the error is gone. Okay, now if I type something 155 Kali loop, okay, you see, we are getting the list of all the uh, address with the name 155 Kali loop. Okay, perfect. Now let's apply some styling to this one. So for this h2 tag, we'll add the class name, and we'll add the padding of 3. Then on hover, I want to change background to gray 100, and we'll make the cursor pointer like this and save it. Okay, let me bring side by side, and if I do Kali loop something like this, see, perfectly coming. Okay, now let's make it some little round corner and everything. Okay, so we close this one, and for this div I will add the class name, and just add the little shadow, then padding of 1, and we'll make corner to be rounded, medium size. Okay, and we'll make it absolute position. Okay, and width need to be a full, and also make the background to be white. Okay, and save it, and see, this is how it looks. Okay, so if I put 1.5 Kali something like this, see, it's looking okay. But if you see, it's going out of this particular screen. Okay, and that's what we don't want it, right? So in order to fix it, okay, for this div, you can mark this div as a relative. Okay, so if you mark this div as a relative and save it, see, it's come back to a in given div only. Okay, so I search it, see, it's coming back to given div. Perfect, and this is working perfectly fine. Okay, now you can select this one, and then that need to be show it here, right? So for this address list, right, this h2 tag will add the on click method. So here you can write on click. Okay, and on the click of this one, what we can do, we can set the source value, okay, to be the this particular address. Okay, but we also need to make sure once you select the address, we want to clear this list, right? So you can just write set address list, and it need to be empty. Okay, but if you see, right, I added two function calls, right, inside one on click method, so that's we have to add this curly braces. Okay, so you can add multiple calls here and save it. Now let's test everything. So if I type 1.5 have Khalil, right, and if you see, I get the suggestion. Now if I click anything, right, so I click this one, see, the you got only one, and if I click on this one, oops, yeah, nothing, you will not see any drop down. Okay, sometimes the address is changed, then only you will see the drop down. Okay, if you made some changes, for example, if you make something like this, okay, see, you get the suggestion, click on it, and that's all, you are done. Okay, now this is challenge or task for you. Same thing you have to implement for the where to. Okay, so let's try it, and if you have any question, you can access my source code, or you can ask me any question in the comment section. Okay, and if you have faced any challenges or you don't understand any points, let me know in the comment section as well. So here I also added updated the destination change. Okay, and let me show you how it looks. So inside here, if you see, I can able to type whatever I want, right? And if you get, we are getting the result as well. Okay, now the, you have to maintain one flag for the source change and destination change. Okay, when you change something, you have to make sure that you are saving that one, so that you can apply and you can show which drop down you need to show it. Okay, this is very important, and that's the reason I added with the address list, I added this destination change uh, condition for the source and for the destination as well. Okay, and that's the reason only that particular drop down is showing. Okay, and obviously we have to make it false once we selected the result. Okay, now it's little confusing and I can understand this one, but you can just access my source code and it's completely free, and then you can check whether you are implementing correctly or not. And if you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section as well. And yeah, so that's how we can implement the address for source and destination. Now we will implement the car list component. So for that one, I already added the list of cars which we needed. Okay, so it contains the ID, the name means which is economy or minivan, then the image is already in the local storage. Okay, so in the public folder I added a different kind of images as well. Okay, you can use any of them. And the charges. Okay, so for the economy, the whatever the charges we are going to calculate, it's only one into multiply by one. Okay, if the it's you are user select the minimum, then we charge depends on the distance multiply by 1.2. Okay, so kind of things, so you will get to know once we start implementing. So inside the booking folder, right inside the component, we will create a new file called cars.tsx. Okay, and then add the default template and make sure to import this car component inside this booking after the auto completed uh, address. Okay, so here I will import the cars component. Okay, so here is the cars component and save it. And if you see, we get this car text here. Okay, perfect. Next, inside the car component, we will implement our implement all this UI. Okay, so here first of all inside the div, let's add the h2 tag and let's say select car. Okay, and let's apply some styling. So for this one I will give some margin from the top, maybe 3, and here I will add the font to be semi bold and save it. Okay, perfect. After this, now we will iterate the list of the car list. Okay, so inside the one this div I will get the cars list. So let's say cars list, and if you see right, it is importing from the data uh, slash car list. Okay, dot map. Now we have to map this one. Okay, so let's say item, and here we will add the div like this. Okay, and also add the index here. Okay, so we'll add the key as an index. So each of this the iteration means, for example, each of this particular element we need to add the key. Okay, so that is mandatory in the React. Next, once we add this div, let's add the image. So let's say image, we have to import means this import image is importing from next slash image. Then we have to provide the source. So in this case, source is item dot, and if you see we have different option. In this case is image, so image. Okay, and then close the tag. Now you are getting error because it asking provide the alt tag. So in this case I will give the alt tag as a name. Okay, so you can give anything, it's not mandatory that you have to give fix. Okay, then let's give width. So in this case we'll give width of let's say width 75, height will give 90, and save it. As soon as you save, you'll see the list of cars. Okay, now next thing what you have to do, you want it in a grid format. Okay, so for this parent div, let's change the layout to the grid. Okay, and when the screen size is smaller, I will provide a grid of column 3. Okay, when the screen size is medium, I will provide the grids of column 2. Okay, and this is up to you how you want to display. Okay, and for large I will provide the grid of column 3 again. Okay, like this. Now for this image class name, okay, let make width to be full. Okay, so it will look like this. So it depends on the screen size, it directly change the size of the image as well. Okay, and that is what we wanted. So next, let's add the other information like h2 tag, and here we will say whether this car is economy or comfort kind of thing, right? So here I will add the item dot name. Okay, so sorry, it's not supposed to be name, and save it. If you see, the name of car is coming. Okay, and after this I will add a span tag, and inside that I will add the charges. So item dot charges into, right now it multiply by a random number, we will change it later on. Okay, and it will look like this, and after that we'll put dollar. Okay, now we want this at the right hand side, so what we can do, you can mark it class name, you can make it flex or you can make it float right. For example, if you make this float right, okay, so that is also working, no issue. Okay, and here we'll change the text size to 12 pixel. Okay, perfect, like this. Now some give some margin. So for this parent div I will add some margin to be 1, and then padding I will add to be 2. Okay, so it will look like this. So let's I don't know whether margin is sufficient or not, let's see. Okay, so actually we have to give margin to this div actually. Okay, so we'll give margin to be 2. Okay, so I will remove this margin, I will add padding of 2 and not here. Okay, now after this we'll add the border for each of this one. Okay, so border of 1 pixel. Okay, and I will make it rounded to be medium. Okay, see how beautifully it's showing, right? Also you can add the border for this one. So when users hover on it, we will change the border color. So on hover, sorry, on hover and border to be yellow. Right. Okay, if I hover and you see the border is changing. Okay, perfect. Make it cursor pointer. See, okay, I hope you understand this point. Now on the click of it, right, we want to change the border color to the yellow, and it should be there. Okay, if I select this, the border color should be fixed to this particular selected car. So for that one we have to save our state. So I will define one state called constant selected car, comma set selected car is equal to use state. Okay, and inside this one right now you can mention it any. Okay, and now on the click of this one particular div, right, we can add that particular method. So on click of this one we'll just store the given index. Okay, set selected car, and we will store the index. Okay, now we can apply this class name dynamically. Okay, so for that one select this and wrap it in a curly braces, and then you have to give this type of code. Okay, and inside that now you can write the condition using dollar double it means the single curly braces, and inside that you can write condition if index is matches is equal to selected index, the selected car, then you can apply the style. So in this case its border need to be yellow 400. Okay, and if sorry, if it's not there, then show nothing. Okay, I also change the border width, so border width to 2 pixel like this, and save it. Now if I click on this button, okay, so see it's there, right? So if I click this one, see, okay, beautifully. If you want to change the border of this one as well, border width, so you can just change the width to 2 pixel. Okay, like this, see, okay, so beautifully it's showing. And if I increase the size, see, it's beautifully showing on the increase size as well. This particular dollar is amount is showing. Now you can do one thing. Okay, just add text bold, or you can make the text gray for this one. Okay, like this, and then you can just make text black, the dollar only. Okay, see, You can also make font medium, little larger, and see how beautifully it's showing. Okay, I hope you understand this one. We will actually going to change this value, and everything we are gonna calculate depends on the location, the selected user, the source and destination location, and depends on the how far it is, right? We will calculate the distance for each of this car. Okay, after that we will implement the payment method. Okay, what payment method you can select, and then button to submit or put the request for the car. Okay, now we are going to implement the payment method. Okay, so for this payment method I added some of these payment method icons. Okay, and that we are going to use in this particular component. So first of all, in the booking folder, let's create a new component called cards.tsx and add the default template. Once you added that one, make sure to add that component into the booking component. Okay, so here you have to add the cards and end the tag and save it, and if you see, the cards is displaying on the screen. Next, let's go to the cards.tsx and add the title called payment methods. Okay, so here in s2 tag we'll add payment methods. Okay, and inside that one we can give the some styling. For example, let's style class name text of 14 pixel, and also I will make the font of semi bold, medium. Okay, and save it. If you see, the payment method text is displaying on the screen. Next, we'll iterate the list of cards. Okay, so what I did in the data folder, right, along with the cards list, I also added a new file called cards list, and here I added the all the cards, which is like Mastercard and the image, the Visa card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and cash. Okay, so here we will iterate that. So let's get cards first. Cards dot, oh sorry, it's need to be a cards list. Okay, dot map, and it should be item comma index, and here I will add the div. Okay, div like this. Now inside here we'll add the image, so add image source, and here will be item dot image. Okay, and in the tag, then give the alt name. So in this case I will give item dot name. Then width, you can give width like any width you want, like 30. Height I will give 50, and save it. And as soon as you save, you will see the list of cards. Okay, now let's apply some styling. Before that, for this div, right, let's apply class name and grid. Okay, and I will apply grid of column 5. Okay, so if you see, it will look like this. Also, for this inner div, right, for this div I will add width of 50 pixel. Okay, so and then I will add the border of 1 pixel in this. Okay, and we can center it. Okay, so make it flex, make it item to be in the center, and justify in the center, so it will be in the center like this. Okay, then border, you can set rounded border. Okay, rounded border to be medium, and save it. Perfect. I know. Let's give some margin to this one, margin top to maybe 2. Okay, yeah, that's look good. Next, you can change the border little. The border color can be dark if you want, but I will keep as it is. Okay, let's on hover. Let's give a hover effect. So here, first of all, I will make cursor pointer, and then on hover, I will scale the size to 110. Okay, and for smooth transition, I'll make transition on and save it. Now once I hover it, see how beautifully it's changing. Okay, perfect. Next, once we click on this one, right, we want to set the border color. Okay, so right now we don't have border color, and on hover also, what I will do, I will change the border color border to be yellow, like this. So if you see like this, right, like this only I am setting to this one. Okay, then, oh sorry, it's up only applied to right. So now it's perfect. Okay, now what you have to do, once you select like this, right, we want to persist the width color, right? So to do that, let's define some one constant, and here we'll say um, active index comma set active index is equal to use state and of type any. Now on the click of this div, you can set the active index. Okay, so here I can set active index, and here you can set the value of the index. So this value you can set it here. Okay, and once it's set, right, once you click on now on this implement method, it will get set the active index. But here, as before, right, we have to apply the dynamic styling, dynamic Tailwind CSS class. Okay, so I wrap this in a curly braces and remove this quote, single quote. Okay, now in the dollar sign, whatever the condition you want to add, you can add it here. For example, if active index is equal to index, then we want to I want to apply the border. Okay, so here we can set border yellow 400, otherwise don't show anything. Okay, and also I will change the width border of 2 pixel only, like this, and save it. Now if I click on any of these one, right, see, and the car. Okay, this is how it works. And if you think it's not in one line, you can just give some margin. Okay, so for example, you can give margin of 2. Okay, and or just margin left I will give. Okay, like this. Okay, perfect. And if I increase size, see how beautifully it's showing. Okay, you can select the car, you can add this one. Okay, now let's add a button to book the car. Okay, so that button we can add it inside the booking.tsx after this particular, or inside this div only after this card. Okay, so I already have button, I will just copy paste it here. Okay, so for this button we have the, sorry, we have the book word, and then we added some styling to this one. If I save it, it will look like this. Okay, if I increase the size, see how beautifully it's showing. Okay, now I hope you understand this particular part, and we pretty much completed this booking section. Okay, the UI things we completed. Next, what we can do, we will add the map on the right hand side. Okay, and then on the select of this particular address, okay, we will get the latitude and longitude of the source and destination address. That latitude and longitude location we will add as a marker on the Google map. Okay, and then we will show the route between that two destinations, and then from that one we can calculate the how much distance it is, and then depends on that we can show the amount for each of this car. Okay, and the last, once you just select everything and click on book, we will store our data in the database. Okay, that's all we are remaining with. So guys, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. And if you really want to join my channel, please do join. Okay, and the subscription or membership will just start from 299, so you can just join it, and let's move forward. Now we are going to implement and integrate the Mapbox map. Okay, so it's very easy to integrate. So first of all, let's go to this particular website called vsgl.github.io, which is one of the best React library for to or to integrate this Mapbox in your application. Okay, so once you go into this particular website, just click on get started, and here first of all you have to install this particular dependency. So copy this particular dependency, go to your terminal and paste it here. Okay, and enter it. Once it install, and if you scroll down, right, you will see the sample code to add the map in your application. Okay, so here what you have to do, you have to just copy this line of code. Okay, so I will just copy this line of code, and let's go back to our application. Once it install, right, uh, you have to make sure it's installed, and then in the map folder which we have already, right, create a new file. I will call it mapbox map.tsx. Okay, and add the default template. Now here we will paste our a particular line of code. Okay, but before that, make sure to import this map box inside your page.txs, because in page.txs we have this section called map, right? So here I will add the map box map. Okay, perfect, like this, and save everything. Now if you go back to our application, right, this is our map box where it will print the map, right? So copy this code, and then inside the Mapbox map app, I will paste it here like this. Okay, here, and make sure to import it. So if I go here, right, you will see the map React map GL. Okay, also I will give the name. So here I will say h2 tag, and inside I will say map. Okay, and let's give some styling. So class name, I will add the padding of 5, and for the text I will class name text of 20 pixel, and font I will add semi bold. Okay, perfect, like this. Now if you see, right, this is the mapbox access token which we need to provide. Okay, and this is the initial view state, so it already give the latitude and longitude. Okay, this is a hard coded one, we can change it later on, and it also give the style, width and height, and the map box type. Okay, so first of all, let's add the access token. Okay, so in .env.local file we already have this map box access token, right? Also add this next underscore public map box access token, and same token you have to copy. So once you added this next underscore public underscore, right, and the name of the API or name of the token, it will be accessible to in your application. So that's the reason we added this next underscore public. Okay, so now once we added, I will just copy this one, and over here replace this one as a process.env, because we have to access that particular access token here, right? So this is how access, and now everything looks good. Just save it. Let's go back to our application and check whether we are getting map, and if you see, the map is showing on the screen. Okay, perfect. So let's add some styling. So we want full width and the height. So what we can do, um over here, right, I will add the width 100%, and I will add the height of 450. Okay, and save it, and if you see how beautiful it's showing. Okay, also I want the corner to be rounded, right? So that also you can add it. So here you can say border radius of 10. Okay, and what you have to do, for you have to wrap this div. Okay, so just wrap this div like this, and for this div you have to just mention the class name rounded large and overflow hidden. Okay? And that's how you can add the rounded corner like this. Okay, and right now if you see, right, our latitude and longitude we mention here, right, we don't know from where, but this is what this they center is automatically. Okay, this is the latitude longitude, that's the reason it's showing this one. But you can easily scroll somewhere. If you want, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. Okay, so it's look like it's a San Francisco. Okay, but now next we will add the markers and everything, but I hopefully you understand how to add the map box in your application. Okay, also if you go to this map box dashboard, right, in your account, you will see this default token. On the right hand side you will see how much the free quota you use. Okay, so for example in search we use 35 out of 500, the load we use 57 out 50,000, and which is nominal, means as I told you, right, because right now we are developing, we are using more, but once we launch in production it will be less. Okay, so this is how we can easily integrate the map box, and I already show how to how the statistics look in the dashboard as well. Okay, So next we will implement the markers and lot of more interesting things, guys. So if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe now. And if you really like this video, please do like and keep watching this video. Now we will get the user's location, okay, and to get the location we will fetch the user location in our layout.tsx, okay, and once we fetch it here we will share that particular location throughout the application with the help of context, so that we don't need to fetch the location every time. Okay, so it's very easy, and if you don't know how to use context, don't worry, we are going to implement right now. Okay, so first of all, here let's define one state which can hold the user's location. Okay, so let's say user location comma set user location, okay, is equal to use state, okay, like this. Next, let's define one method, so constant get user location is equal to arrow function, and inside that we will fetch the location. So to get the location we have to get it from navigator dot geolocation dot get current position, right? And if you see, right, you will get this suggestion as well, the function which contain the position. Okay, so you can define like this, and then inside that you will get the coordinates, right? If I console this one, console.log and position, you will see the coordinates. Okay, and make sure you will call this get user location in use effect, okay, only once. So here I will call this one, okay, so get user location like this, okay, and save everything. Now if I go back to our application, so if you see, right, we got the error that the importing it need a client component. Okay, so right now it's a server side, right? If you try to make it client, use client, then this error will gone. Okay, because use state only use in the client side only. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if you say, right, we got this another error called next router is not mounted. Okay, because we also use this clerk. Okay, and clerk provider use on the server side. So what we can do, you can implement this same functionality in page.tsx. Okay, so what I will do, I will just cut everything from here, save it, and in page.tsx. Okay, because right now we are only using one page. Okay, and you can paste it here. Sorry, let me go back, copy this from here, control X, and in page.tsx I'm here, paste it. Okay, and make sure to import this use state and use effect, and we also already mentioned this as a use client. Okay, and now if I save it, I hopefully this error will gone. Okay, let's see what's the issue again. So in layout.tsx we forgot to remove this use client and also remove this statement, okay, the import statement, and then save everything. Okay, and if I go back to the application, see, now this error is gone. Okay, and let's see in the SMAC panel we are getting this geolocation. If you see, right, we got this geolocation which is on the line in the file page and in the line 16. Okay, so if I go to the page, the line number 16, see, and here we got the location. In the coordinates we have the user's latitude and the longitude. Okay, see how easily we got this one. Now this latitude and longitude we will save in our state. So so inside this one I will remove this one and just add the set user location, and inside that we can add the latitude, add position dot coordinates dot latitude, and same we will do it for longitude, position dot coordinates dot longitude. Okay, like this. Now if you got, we got the error because we will change this to type any. Okay, as we are doing TypeScript, see, the error is gone. Now we use this set user location to set the latitude and longitude of the user. Now we, with the help of context, right, we will pass this to the all other this component. Okay, so to do that, right, uh, we will create a new folder. Okay, so inside root folder you can call it as a context, and inside that we'll create a user location context.tsx file. Okay? And here very easy, just need to write export constant. I will use the same name for the context as a file name is equal to create context. Okay, this one, and let's pass null value. Okay, and you also exported, that's the reason it will be accessible throughout the application. Okay, now once you added this one, let's go back to page.tsx file. So inside the app we have this page.tsx, and here I will wrap everything inside that particular context. So you will say user location context dot, see this provider is coming, right? So pass add provider and wrap this full div. Okay, because we want to pass it to this component, so I will wrap this in div like this. Okay, and then we have to pass the value. So in this case the value is users location comma set user location. Okay, and so it's can be dispatched to be uh, that way I will figure out why this error is coming, that's fine. Okay, we need to pass the some value, is it null or not. But here if you see, right, we passing this user location and set user location. Okay, so with the help of context, if you want to change the value from anywhere, you can do it. Okay, if you can go to the mapbox map, and if you want to change the user location value, you can change it, and that will reflect to throughout the component, each component which you define in this particular provider. Okay, so that's the reason the context is very powerful when you are going to pass some value from one component to other and want to share in the value in nested components. Okay, so like this one. So make sure you understand this particular concept. And for this error, right, if I hover on it, it's saying that we define the user location of type any, but this context of type null. Okay, so if you go to this user location context right now, we pass as a null, right? Just make it as a any here like this. Okay, and then save everything, and if you see now this error is gone. Okay, and if you go back to our application as well, make sure everything is running properly. Even you let me refresh it and see nothing got changed. Okay, right now we just fetch the user's location and put it in our context so that we can use in our booking or Mapbox whenever we require. Okay, perfect. Now let's implement the marker for the user's location. Okay, so if you go to this documentation of this map GL right here, if you go to this API reference, and inside that you will see the marker documentation. Okay, and we it's very easy, don't be get confused or don't feel it's complicated. But if you see right inside this map, right, which we already have, they added this marker. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just copy this marker, and inside this map we want it, right? So what I will do, I will remove this, and I will add the map closing tag here like this, and inside that we will add the map marker. Okay, like this. Now make sure to import this marker, so we have to import it here, marker like this. Okay, and save it. Now here we have to pass the latitude and longitude of the user's location. So same thing, we have to copy and paste it here. Okay, and the user latitude, so latitude like this. Okay, and the anchor is bottom, everything. Also there is very important step. Okay, if I go to this documentation, okay, get started, and if I scroll down, they added this particular link, right, styling, and this is very important to add. So just copy this. Okay, and wherever your marker is imported, right, this you have to add this CSS. Okay, and save it, otherwise marker will show on map but it will not at the precise location. That is the reason we have to add CSS. And if you see, the marker is showing on the screen. Okay, but if you see the size is too big, right, and this you can add your own image, right, in the marker. If you see, we added this latitude longitude, the anchor tag, and then if you see, right, this image we added. Okay, and this PNG file, it is in our local folder, is sorry, it is in public folder. So here you can just add your Tailwind 6 classes. So I will say width of 10 and height of 10 and save it. So as I save, see, the marker, sorry, this refresh, the marker is showing on the screen. Okay, so this is how easily you can add it. Let me refresh the screen, and is here the latitude and longitude of the user's marker. Okay, so this is the location that we are getting. So this is how we can add the marker. Okay, and very easy, you can add multiple marker. You have to just paste this one and you have to change the latitude longitude. It will add multiple marker. Also, you can use the user's image as a marker. Okay, and for that one you have to use this use session. Okay, so you from the use, sorry, use user, and if you see, right, is importing from the clerk Next.js. Okay, you can import this one, and once you get that, right, you will get the user profile, image name, everything. But for now we'll use this pin only, okay, which is our local file, and that's how we show it on the screen. Okay, if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Now in this particular section we are going to get the source and destination address, latitude and longitude. Okay, so for that one, if you go to the Mapbox documentation, right, we already use the search API to search the address, right, and in that only we have this another API called to retrieve the suggested feature. Okay, so if you go here, right, and this is the particular API endpoint to get the addresses coordinates, okay, which is latitude and longitude. And if you see, right, this is the particular API endpoint slash retrieve, and here we have to pass the Mapbox ID. Okay, so I will show you what Mapbox ID means, and session token and access token is similar. Okay, so if I go here, right, and this is the suggested API when you search the address, right, and this is the list of address we are getting. So in that one we have this long, big long key which is the Mapbox ID, and this ID we have to provide in order to this particular retrieve API. Right here, instead of ID we have to provide that Mapbox ID to get the list of all the IDs. Okay, and if you want to see how it response look like, right, let me show you the response how it look like. So this is the if you see retrieve, and this is the Mapbox ID I'm providing. Okay, and if you see, this is the big URL is we are uh, accessing. Okay, so inside that one, right, for example, this is the particular address we are checking, and this is the coordinates which we are getting. Okay, and this coordinate we needed to for the addresses latitude and longitude. Okay, so this is nothing but longitude and latitude. Okay, so here to get that one, right, make sure to you can able to know understand this API endpoint. Okay, and then we will implement it. So let's go back to our application, and inside the autocomplete address we will write our function. Okay, because let me show you how we are gonna call that particular API endpoint and where we want to call. Okay, so here if I search 155 Kali Lu or something, some address, right, we are getting some suggestion. Correct, when we click on this particular address, right, if I click this one, we have to call that particular API to get the latitude and longitude. So to get that, first of all, what we can do, we can write one function method called constant on source, and that on source address click. Okay, on source address click we can say. Okay, and I'm giving some meaningful name to my method. Okay, and on source address click we are going to call that in this particular on click method. Okay, so what I will do, I will just copy all these function calls from here, and I will paste it inside this one. And here I will pass the item, so because we need the Mapbox ID as well. Okay, so just call this here inside this one, and then pass the item like this. Okay, and on source address we make sure to accept this item and is of type any. Now we have the source and set address. Make sure everything is working as expected, so I save everything, and let's try to find something, right. So 525 not Brian Okay, so something, so this address is coming. If I click it, so everything is working fine. Okay, now once we click on this, obviously we have to call the latitude and longitude method. Okay, so for that one, I will add the API endpoint and session token at the top of this particular function. Okay, so this is the API endpoint and I'm calling it as a Mapbox retrieval URL, and the session token, which is the random UUID. Okay, so inside this one we will write the fetch method. Okay, so you can write constant result. Okay, and this need to make a async function, so we can use wait. So await fetch. First of all, we have to write the URL, so which is the Mapbox retrieval URL, plus we have to pass the Mapbox ID. So Mapbox ID is an item dot Mapbox ID. Let me see. So this one, right? So Mapbox ID that we are passing here, Mapbox ID. Then we want to pass the session token. Okay, so question mark session underscore token is equal to the one which we have already defined. Okay, so session token. Then we want to pass the access token. So and the rate access underscore token, okay, is equal to, and that token we are getting from our local environment file. So process.env. Okay, and let me go back to this particular .env file. Just copy this one and paste it here. env dot public access token. Okay, once we have this one, let's get the data. So constant result is equal to await. Okay, and here we send the response dot json like this. Okay, and let's print out whether we are getting this response or not. So we'll write result here like this. Okay, and save everything. Now let me go back here, go to inspect panel, go to the console, clean everything. Okay, so here we'll type 155 Cali loop, just ignore this error. Okay, and if I click on this one, see, as soon as I click, right, we get the response, and in the response, in the features, we got the first item. Okay, inside that one, if you see, right, this is the property name, the full address and everything, right? And in the geometry we have the coordinates. See, the latitude and sorry, longitude and latitude. Okay, now we will need to store it in some state. So what we can do, uh, here we can say constant source coordinates comma set source coordinates is equal to use state. Okay, of type I will do any, like this. Okay, and we'll pass empty for now. And to set the coordinates, come down here and make sure set coordinates, we only set the coordinates, so it is in the result. Okay, so let me, okay, result, inside that we have the features, inside how we have first element. So okay, features first element dot, we have the geometry again in coordinates. So geometry, then again coordinates. Okay, coordinates again. Now we have to provide a different, so what I will do, we put latitude. Okay, so this is the latitude coordinates of 0. Okay, and then we have the longitude. Maybe this is the, I don't know which one is which, but we'll check it out. Okay, so this is the first one, and then maybe this is a longitude actually, lng will say, and this is latitude f first. Okay, like this, and this is we store the latitude and longitude for the set source coordinates. Okay, same thing you have to do it for the destination address. Okay, once we click on this one, select the destination address, we have to call that API and then we have to set the destination coordinates. Okay, so try it on your own. So this is the source address. uh, I implement the method. Same method you have to implement for the destination coordinates. Now I implemented this particular logic for the getting the coordinates for the destination as well. Okay, so so only thing that I mismatch here, it's a source and this is the destination. Okay, and this is the same implementation, only I change this destination and saving in destination. Okay, and I tested it, is working fine. Now another thing, we need to make some changes. Okay, so what we have to do, once we save it here, right, we want to share it across the all the components in the application, right? To do that, we need to use the context. Okay, so if you see, right, we have the uh, context already, we define it, right, and we use it in our application for the user location. We will create another one to save the source coordinates and the destination coordinate, right? So here we will create a new context called source coordinates context. Okay, dot tsx, and here obviously we have to export constant. We'll say source coordinates context is equal to create context. Okay, it is of type any and passing nothing, so personal right now. Okay, now I don't know why it's but got explained 0 create contact right now. Will okay, so this need to be from the React. Okay, like this, and save it. Now same thing you have to do it for the destination, so we get another one for the destination coordinates context dot tsx, and here again export constant destination coordinates context is equal to create context is of type any and is passing null initially. Okay, perfect. Now obviously same thing we have to do if you go to the page tsx, right, we did it for the location. Same thing you have to do for the source and destination. So I will add source coordinate context dot provider. Okay, and wrap this up like this, and again you can also add the destination inside. Okay, dot provider like this. Okay, now obviously if we are getting error because we did not provide any value, right? So if you go back to this our components called autocomplete address, you have to copy this one because we are using this one. Okay, over here same name and this value we are passing. So here for the source coordinates we passing source coordinate source uh, coordinates comma set source coordinates, and for the destination we are passing destination coordinates comma set destination coordinates. Okay, perfect. Now we pass these source coordinates and destination coordinates, and here right now it's empty. Okay, that's fine. But once in autocomplete, because this is accessible in autocomplete address as well. Okay, in this component here, instead of use state we are going to change it with the use context. Okay, so obviously change this square brackets to the circular because we are going to change to use context. Remove this completely, and here we'll use the source context like this. Okay, and same thing we have to do for the destination. Okay, and if you remember, as I told you before, once you define this context, you can update this context anywhere from any component, and that will reflect throughout the application. And that's the reason we are updating from this autocomplete address. Okay, and that will reflect throughout the any other components. Okay, so this is how useful it is. Okay, so let me remove this one, and this is the destination coordinates context, actually destination coordinate context. Okay, perfect. Now we already setting this value, so no need to change anywhere. Okay, perfect. Now we save this one, and we are able to successfully save this data. For example, if I search some different address, right, Cornelius, I don't know whether it will find or not. Cornelius, let's find my address only, because this is more easier. Okay, and 525, not Ryan. Okay, see, this one is got. See, for source and address, I'm getting the both the coordinates. Okay, and this we are already saving. Perfect. So I hope you understand this one, and if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so this is how easily we can get the coordinates. Now next, what we can do, we will pass these coordinates to this particular map. Okay, so once we select this particular the source address and destination address, we gonna add the marker for them on the map. And once you select the both the address, okay, after selecting destination, then we will uh, pass, or we will add the route between this particular source and destination. Okay, and we will show it on the map. Again, I know this is hectic, but again we have to call one more API to get the coordinates, list of coordinates, to draw the route. Okay, that we will see in next section. So in this section, we are going to show a source and destination addresses marker on the map. Okay, because we already have the latitude and longitude for the source and the destination. With the help of that, we will add the marker on the screen. So let's go back to our application, and inside the component folder, we have this map folder. Right inside that, create a new folder called markers.tsx. Inside that, we will store all our markers. So add the default template. And if I go back to the Mapbox map, right here we added this marker for the user. Okay, so what I will do, I will remove it from here and add it in this our markers component. Okay, like this. And just to make sure, to differentiate, right, I will add the user marker. Okay, like this. And here, make sure to import all the statements. So just copy it, import statement, copy it from here, paste it here, and the user location as well. Okay, so this one as well need to copy, paste it here. Make sure to import this use contact as well as user location contact. Okay, now once you add this one here, you have to make sure that you are adding the marker component inside this map. So add the markers component. Let me check markers. So the spelling is incorrect. Let me have markers.tsx. Okay, update it here as well. Just this. Okay, and then we'll import it here and save everything. Now if you go back to our application, make sure the marker is showing on the screen. Okay, this is the user's location marker. Next, what we can do, now we want to show the users a source and destination marker on the screen, right? So for that one, let's create another marker here. So I will say source marker. Okay, and then will come destination marker. Okay, so I will copy the existing one, same like this. Okay, so just copy this one. Obviously this marker need to be closed here. Oops, sorry. So actually we need to paste this one, not here in the markers. Okay, so here we need to add it. Okay, and then I will just copy existing one, paste it here, and instead of passing this user's location, latitude and longitude, we are going to pass the source coordinates. Okay, so as you know, right, we already have the context for that one. So I will just copy paste it here. Okay, this is for source coordinates and this is for the destination coordinates. Okay, and make sure to import it as well. So let me import that one. So here I will import it like this. Okay, so now we have the source coordinates and the destination coordinates. This coordinate we need to pass it here. Okay, so just paste the source coordinates like this, latitude and longitude. Okay, and everything is good. Also, here we need to make sure that we have the source coordinate, because initially when we load the app we don't have the source coordinate. Okay, let's check how what happened if you did not provide any condition. And if you see, we got this NaNN. Okay, because this error, because we don't have the source coordinate. So here we need to check source coordinates. Okay, so source coordinates, I don't know why it's not coming. Let's copy this one. Okay, question mark. If the source coordinate is there, then only show this marker, otherwise show nothing. Okay, and now save this one. Make sure this length, I will provide the length not equal to 0. You can mention like this. Okay, you have to check whether which condition is perfectly work for you. Okay. And now see, the error is gone. Now let's search the address. Okay, so I will search 153 Ali loop. Okay, and if I select this one, see the second marker is on the screen. Okay, see 155 and 153 immediately, right? Now same thing we have to do it for the destination one. Okay, so what I will do, I will copy a similar thing and paste it for the destination, and instead of the source we have to copy for the destination coordinates. Destination coordinate, destination. Okay, and save it. Now let's see whether this both the coordinates coming or not. So I will say 153 Cali loop. Okay, and I selected, see second marker is came here, then 525 North Tryon Street. Okay, and if I select this one, okay, so now it's not showing because it's little far from my, but if I scroll down you see this marker is here. Okay, perfect. Now the question is, when I select the marker, right, our map need to move to that particular marker's location. Okay, it's actually move like this to that particular location. So that is very important, because right now you don't know where is the marker, right? You have to zoom in out or zoom out, zoom in, right, to check where is the marker which are the source or destination which we selected. Okay, so for that one, let's go back to our application, and inside this mapbox map component, here we are gonna implement some logic. Okay, so first of all, uh, we have to add the, whenever the source or destination coordinates we found it, right, that time we have to call one a particular method called fly to. Okay, and if you go here, right, here it define how to use the fly to. See the, okay, so don't worry, let's implement directly. Okay, so you'll get understand. So first of all, you have to define the reference of the map. Okay, you can write my reference, map reference is equal to use reference. Okay, and of type any, like this. Okay, after that, you have to add use effect. Okay, and this use effect will execute whenever the source coordinate changes. Okay, now obviously we have to add the source coordinates and the destination coordinates in our application. Okay, from with the help of context. Okay, so make sure to import everything. Okay, so with the help of context we added this source and destination coordinates. So whenever the source coordinate changes, means it available, right, then that time we have to make sure that inside bracket we have to move our camera position, we can say, to the markers position. So map reference dot current. Okay, and we have to do fly to method, and inside that we have to write center at the coordinates. Okay, so here we have to provide the coordinates. So in this case it's source longitude and source latitude. Okay, like this, and then we have to part the duration as well. So duration we part 255, like this. Okay, and let's test out whether it's working or not. Okay, and what else, I think that's all. Also make sure that reference you are referring to this particular map. I will map reference like this. Okay, and save it. Now let's go back to our application. Now select this some marker. Okay, so I am something here. Okay, select the marker Cali loop, search it, and see how camera move automatically. Okay, same thing you have to do it for the destination. So I will copy this use effect, okay, and instead of source I will put the destination coordinates. Okay, so destination, here we'll check with the destination coordinates available and then provide the destination latitude and longitude. Okay, and save it. Now let's test both of these things. Okay, so first of all, 155 Cali loop. See, the map will move to this particular location. Then not try and if I click on this one, see how it move immediately. Okay, perfect. That's what we want to achieve in. Okay, so hopefully you understand how to do it. Okay, and if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. So this particular use effect use to fly to source markers location. Okay, and this use effect we are calling use to fly to destination markers location. How easy it is, right? You don't need to do any kind of implementation for that one, just you have to pass the coordinates to this fly to method. Okay, I hope you understand this one, and if you have any question, any doubts, let me know in the comment section. So in the last video we implemented this basic functionality, okay, and we are able to successfully show the source address marker and the destination address marker like this. Okay, now in this particular video we are going to implement a lot of things. First we will implement how to show the routes between the source and the destination once user enter the destination address. Next, we will calculate the charges. It depends on the type of vehicle user select and the distance between this particular source and destination address. Okay, and depends on that, we will show the charges. Right now, we hard coded this value, but once we have all the information, then we will calculate. And also, we will show this information like here. Okay, let me show you the demo. So, for example, if I go here and select this address, okay, so let me select some address and I will select the another one. So I don't know, like this, right? And if you see, the marker is created, right? See, and also we are showing the distance. Depends on that, we are also showing this value for each car. Okay, how much it cost and everything. So let's start begin how to implement this one. Okay, it's quite easy. Let's do it and let's start. So once we select this source address and destination address, we have the coordinates for the board this particular address. Okay, and in the map box we have the one API called this get the direction API, right? So once you pass the source coordinates latitude and longitude and the destination latitude longitude, okay, we'll get some response, and in that response we'll get a lot of different coordinates. Okay, so let me show you the actual example. So if you see, right, this is the endpoint and here I'm passing this source and destination latitude and longitude. Okay, and once we pass it, it will give me the geometric coordinates, and these coordinates, if you see, right, we have a lot of different coordinates. These coordinates will help you to draw the lines, right, means the direction which you saw previously, right? And because it consists of a different point, and all this point we are going to connect it. Okay, and that's how in mapbox we are going to show the route. Okay, actual route. So for that one, first of all, let's go to our application, and inside the mapbox map here, we will call that particular API first. Okay, so let's go here and just define the first endpoint. Let's define the endpoint, right? So if you see, this is the particular endpoint which I define. You can access that through the Mapbox documentation, or you can access through my source code, and here the session code which I generated from online. Okay, so make sure you have this particular endpoint, and which need to be exactly like this. And then we'll define one method called constant get direction route, and which need to be async. Okay, so in this case we are gonna call directly this endpoint instead of creating a Next.js API. Okay, because it's not if for that particular API we don't have any course issue, so we can directly call that particular API. Here constant result is equal to await, and here I will await, and with the help of fetch I will add that particular Mapbox driving endpoint. Okay, plus we will gonna add the source coordinate, source coordinate actually, source coordinates, okay, dot longitude. Okay, plus here we have to give the comma, so I will add the comma here like this, plus the source coordinates, uh, coordinates dot latitude. Okay, plus we have to give the colon like this. Then we have to add the destination coordinates dot latitude, sorry, it's first longitude, and plus comma, plus we have to add the destination coordinates dot latitude. Okay, and after that there are some more parameter which we need to pass it. Okay, so I will just copy paste and paste it here like this. Okay, so it's because we are telling to this particular API we want geometry of GeoJSON, and also we are passing the access token which we already have in our env file. Okay, and then after that obviously after this one we have to add the header. Okay, like content type I will just copy paste it like this. Perfect, and end it. Okay, now is a constant result is equal to await response.json. Okay, from this we'll get the response. So what we'll do, just console it and we'll see whether we are getting the result or not. So constant result. Okay, and now this get direction route we will call it inside this particular use effect. Okay, so after this one, once the destination coordinates changes we can call it. Okay, but we have to make sure that we have the source coordinates and we have the destination coordinates. Okay, then only we will call the get direction route method. Okay, perfect, and let's save everything and let's see. Go to the inspect panel. Okay, so here let me clean everything, and from we will add 155 Cali loop. Okay, and I will add some other not trying street like this, and we got this. And if you see on the console, right, we got the result. Inside the roots we have the first element, and inside that we have geometry, and then we have the 785 coordinates. Okay, see, now these coordinates we need it, so we will store these coordinates uh, in one state. Okay, so we'll define one state. Okay, so let's go back here, and inside here, right, one more thing let me tell you. I already created this particular context called direction data context. Okay, and this direction data context I will use to save this particular coordinates. Okay, so this direction data context also um, obviously we need to wrap it. Okay, so if I go to this page.tsx, here I added this direction data context provider, and I'm passing this direction data, set direction data like this. Okay, it's as usual the way we added the context. Okay, don't be confused here. Okay, because I already added, but you can just take a reference of this. That's why I told you. Okay, before. And now the Mapbox map will add this particular get direction context like this. Okay, now this get direction context we'll use to save the result. Okay, obviously uh, let's go here, and we will just add it, say direction data, and we'll pass all the result inside it. Okay, see, roots and everything. So you can just pass the roots as well. It's up to you, but I'm passing the result, complete result. Okay, perfect. Now we have this particular Mapbox map. Now we will create a new component. Okay, inside the map, we can call it as a Mapbox route.tsx. Okay, this will help you to draw the route. Okay, so in this particular API documentation of the React Map GL, right, we have this particular component called layer. Okay, and this layer help us to draw anything on the map. Okay, this documentation is, I will not say complete, okay, but I will tell you how to do it. So let's go back to our application, and inside this map box route, right, we'll first of all, let me replace this div with the source. Okay, so here if you see, the source is importing from the React Map GL, so add this source like this and in the tag. Okay, and inside source we'll add the layer, so inside tag we'll add the layer. Now interesting thing is here, for this source, right, source, whatever the data we need to provide to draw this particular route, we have to add that data into this source. So first of all, obviously we have to inform that, okay, this is of type geo json. Then we have to add the type, so we have to add the data. Okay, is equal to, sorry, is equal to, and in double bracket we have to type of feature. Okay, feature. Then the geometry. Okay, so I will just copy paste it here like this. Okay, so maybe double bracket, I will remove this one. Okay, and here obviously we need to pass the props. Okay, because whatever the props we are passing, right, these props, okay, let me define these props of type any. Okay, because this props contain this coordinates, list of coordinates. Okay, and obviously we need to define this map box route inside this map box map. Okay, so after this one, we can define it. So let me just copy paste it here. Okay, inside the map we have to define it. So what I define, if the direction data has some has a route, then we'll define this map box route, and then we are passing this coordinates. And if you see this, I'm just passing the coordinates only. Okay, and I'm not passing any other information. We need the other information somewhere else, but right now we just need the coordinates, and these coordinates I'm passing to this map box route. Okay, like this, and from this I'm passing these particular coordinates to this source. Now inside the layer we have to inform what type of layer we need to define. Okay, if you go to this one particular, right, it define a different type of layer. For example, in park layer, if you see, right, uh, this has a land use or type of field and something else. Like, you can go to this map layer on the map box, and here you will find a different type of layer like field, line, circle, heat map kind of thing. In this case we are going to use type of is equal to line. Okay, and there are other property like layout. Okay, whether you want to join and at the end we want to round or circular kind of things. Okay, you can just try it. This all information you will find on this Mapbox documentation. Okay, they inform you how to do it and everything. Now once you define this one, okay, let's save everything, and we have to make sure that that particular map box row we added here. And let's go back to our application. Let's see whether we get anything. Right now if you see, we don't have anything. We have to add the source and destination address, so let's add that one. And here as well, 5 North Trine Street, like this. And if you see, we got this particular map route. Okay, so what is happening, whatever the coordinates we are getting, these coordinates we are placing and connecting so that we get a perfect route. Okay, so every time obviously you added the source and destination, we are passing these coordinates, and then it will return this coordinate. And if you see how beautifully it's showing, now you can obviously change the color and everything. If you see here, right, Here you can change the color, whatever you color you want. If I select 0, which is the black color, and if I save it, see the black color is showing. Okay, I will keep the blue one. And this is how you can show. You can change the width, you can change the line cap. Line cap is nothing but the endpoint you want, the square or rounded and everything like this. Okay, so this is how easily you can add it. Let me summarize everything first, okay, because if you feel confusing, let me summarize again. First, we have to get the direction, we have to call the direction API. From that we will get the coordinates, okay, a list of coordinates. That coordinates we have to pass to this particular layer, okay, and which we are define this component. This coordinates we pass it to the source, and with the help of layer we draw the line. Okay, I hope you understand this one. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section, and you can access my source code for free. Okay, and guys, if you still did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe, and please join my channel and help me to grow my channel as well. Now, depends on the distance, right? How far it is. We are gonna calculate the amount for each of this car, how much it charge and everything, right? And for that one, if you see, right, already saving this particular direction response in our context. And if you see in the this particular response, right, here we will see the distance and the duration, right? How much time it will take depends on the traffic and everything, and the distance as well. So right now obviously distance is in the meters. We have to convert it into kilometer or miles, whatever, right? So right now we will convert into the miles. So for that one, uh, let's go back to this cars.tsx. Okay, and inside here, first of all, I will define this get direction data context. So I will add it here like this. So we have the direction data. Okay, and then I will define one method called constant get cost. Okay, so this particular method will calculate the cost for the each of this particular car, right? And this get cost I will call it inside here. Okay, so instead of this charges, okay, I will define here like this. So get cost, and then I will pass the item dot charges. Okay, so it is in this particular, obviously in this item dot charges contain the value, right? We defined, right, 1 2 3 4. Let me show you that one. So inside data we have this cars list, and if you see the charges, right, so depends on the amount, it will multiply the value, and then we'll get the result, this kind of thing. And obviously here we have to make sure that we have the direction route. So what I will do, once we have the direction data dot routes, okay, then only we'll gonna show this span. Okay, otherwise we'll show null. Okay, and inside the get cost, here I will accept it as a charges of type any for now. Okay, so still we have this error. Let's see what's the error. Get cost item dot charges. So okay, let's write the code and then we'll see. Okay, so here then we will return the value. Okay, what are the calculation we are doing. So what I will do, uh, we have the charges, okay, multiplied by, we have the direction data dot, inside that we have routes, and obviously we'll take the first element into distance, so we'll get the distance from it. Okay, distance multiplied by, we have some value which convert it into miles. Okay, so like this is the value. For kilometer you can just search it on the internet and you find it. Okay, and this will return the value. And if you see, this error also gone, because this will replace the value which we are going to calculate, and is returning from this particular get cost. Okay, this is how simple it is we are going to implement. So let's save it. Let's go back to our application, and if you see, we got some information, right? We are getting a lot of big number actually. So what we will do, uh, we will just show some send to value. So let me here, after this one, right? So what I will do, I will put it here like this, dot to fix. Okay, so we will give the two value only. Okay, and let's try it now. So once it refresh, we'll add some address 55 kindly loop, and this is the 525 not trying street. Yeah, yeah. And if you see, we got this information. The economy will charge 25.95, 31, like this. See, okay, it calculating depends on the distance, uh, how far from the source and destination, and then it calculate the value. Obviously, right now we are just using the distance. You can add the time as well, how much time it will take, and you can add the charges for that one as well. Okay, but for simplicity, I will just using the distance to get the charges. Okay, I hope you understand this one. It's quite easy. Make sure you need to use this direction data, because we which have all the information which we are fetching from this particular direction uh, API, right, in the Mapbox, because we already, once we already select this particular address, destination address, obviously we are fetching that API, and that will also reflect in this particular cars component. Okay, I hope you understand this one, and if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Now next we will show this particular information about the distance and the duration it will take to reach from the source to destination. Okay, it's quite easy. So let's go back to our application, and inside the map we'll create a new uh, component. So here we can create a new component called distance time dot psx. Okay, and add the default template like this. Now obviously we need to add this particular template inside the Mapbox map. Okay, here we're gonna add. So at the bottom, after this one, we'll add this template. So inside div, I will add distance time. Okay, like this, and save it. We'll save everything. Now if you see here, right, let me okay, it's refreshing the. So right now I don't know what's the error is coming. Okay, okay, so if you see, right, we have the distance time is showing here, and we want to show it on the map on the right hand side, correct? So for this div we'll add some Tailwind CSS class name. So here we can say absolute, then bottom 40 pixel, and then obviously we'll add the z index of 20, and from the right we'll give some margin like 20 pixel, like this. Okay, and when the screen size is smaller, we'll hide it. Okay, hidden like this. And when screen size is medium or larger, we'll show it. And if I save it, let's go back to our application, and if you see, the right now it's showing here like this distance time. Okay, we'll change the we'll change everything, but inside this distance time. Now inside the distance time, first of all we will need to get the direction data context. Okay, so I will just copy paste it here like this. So okay, so from the use context we'll add this distance sorry, distance direction data. Okay, so obviously in that we already have those coordinates and distance and duration as well. So with the help of that we'll implement it. Okay, so I will define the h2 tag. I already have the code because I will just copy paste it here like this. So in the h2 tag I'm defining this distance, and uh, we already have this distance inside this direction data routes 0 dot distance. Okay, and I'm converting into this miles because it is in the meters, and obviously we'll do the two fix so that we'll get this exact value, and we'll say miles. Okay, same thing will duration. We have the duration and we'll divide by 60 because it is in the seconds, and we'll do the two fix and the minute. Okay, so we convert it into minutes and save everything. Now once you save it, obviously what I will do, I will do some padding, and I will also change the background for this one. So add the class name. Okay, and we'll say background yellow, of 500 and padding of 3, and then save everything, and let's go back to our application. So right now it's getting cannot read property of undefined. Okay, so here you can just do one thing. So let me check, because what we can do, we can show this distance direction data, because right now we don't have direction data, and that's why we are getting error. Okay, you can define here like this. I'm not sure whether this will work or not, because it will say the optional field and it will avoid this error, but if you see, we still have the error. So what we can do here, you can just define, if the you have the direction data, then only show it. Okay, so we'll say the direction data dot customer dot routes is available, then only show this particular uh, UI. Okay, and if you see, the error is gone. So right now we don't have data, that's why it's not showing. But let's see, by searching or getting the routes for the source and destination, and oh, I different address, that's fine. Fine street. Okay, and let's add this one. So if you see, right, we have the distance of 994 miles, and the duration is also coming. Okay, now obviously you can give some padding and margin, and so it will come up the top of this particular one. Okay, and if you see, we get this information as well. Now if I go to this map, here you can define that margin bottom to be 90, and it will come like this. Okay, so you can just adjust it according to your need. Okay, and then it will work efficiently. Okay, so let's test it again. 15 Kali loop. Let's select this, and then 5 to 5 not try street, try on. Okay, and if you see, it's coming beautifully. Okay, you can just do 100, that's fine. Okay, perfect. So I hope you understand this one. This is quite easy, right? So in this particular one, right, with the help of direction data endpoint, we already show this route, as well as we calculate this particular distance. Okay, sorry, we also calculate this amount for the taxi, along with we also showing the distance and the duration for this particular route which user selected. Okay, this is how easy you can add it. I hope you understand this one, and if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. So in this particular section, we are going to integrate the payment gateway for our application. And for that one, we are going to use stripe.com. Okay, the Stripe payment gateway, which is one of the best payment gateway in the internet right now, and it also acceptable throughout the world. Okay, so if you don't have any account, create a new account and then go to the dashboard. Once you go to the dashboard, here you will find the developer section. Okay, and right now it is in the test mode, so because we are developing the application and we are not in the production. Okay, so once you go to the developer section, here you will find the publisher key and the secret key. Okay, copy these both the keys, and then go back to our application, and inside the .env.local, here you have to paste these API keys. Okay, so give the name like next underscore public for a publisher key, and then the secret key. Okay, next we need to create a new page or a new route for our payment gateway. Okay, where we are going to show the payment gateway. So for that one, inside the app folder, we will create a new folder called payment. Okay, but before that, let me show you how or what we are going to implement. So once we do the payment, right, we need to navigate to on some page. Right now the payment route is not available, or a page is not available, and that's the reason it's showing 404 error. But let's go back to app folder, and inside that, just create a new folder called payment, and this will be our new route. And inside that, I will create a folder called page.tsx, add the default template, and I will rename this component name as a payment. Okay, and like this, and save everything. Now let's go back to our application, and if you see on the slash payment, the payment text is showing. It means our route is set up, and that's how easy routing we set up, right? We don't need any configuration, just you need to create a folder in that particular app folder, and that's all. That's how in Next.js 13 app router is work. Okay. Next, once we define this one, right, let's try to navigate on this particular page. If I go back to localhost 3000, right, and once we select this, or we fill all the information and click book, we want to navigate to this payment page. Okay, so for that one, let's go back to the booking.tsx, and inside here, couple of things I modified. Okay, so first thing, once we select the car, right, on the click of this particular car, I am sending this amount. If you see, right, on the click of this car, along with this set selected car, I also select the amount for the car. Okay, obviously we are getting from this get cost, and this I am passing back to a parent child, so like this. Okay, here, and inside the booking, I am accepting and saving in one state. Okay, so this stage is already defined here like this, and I'm saving it here like this. Okay, now obviously we are going to use context, but right now we'll keep as it is, and we'll update it afterward. Okay, next, on the click of this one, right, on click, we want to go to the next page. So for define this use router, and once you define this use router hook, make sure this use router hook is importing from the next slash navigation. Okay, because in if you are using app router and Next.js 13, we have to make sure that you are using this next slash navigation to add this or to import this use router hook. And once you did this, you have to just write router dot push and the name of the route, so in this case is payment. Okay, and save it. Now once you save, and if I click book, okay, see it jumping to the payment page. Perfect. Next, go to the car.tsx. Okay, and here we want to store the amount which user selected. Okay, so obviously we want to remove all of these things, and in the context we define new context. So let's go to the context folder, and inside here I will define um, user selected car amount context.tsx. Okay, and here I will define name like this is equal to create context of type any and provide null. Okay, and once you define, make sure to export it. So export and save it. Now obviously you need to add in page.tsx. Okay, you have to wrap it, so I will wrap it here like this. So selected car amount context dot provider, I will provide the value and then in the tag, and obviously we have to wrap everything, right? I hope you understand this context because we use it a lot of times, right? And obviously I will define the new, I will just copy this one, a new state, or we will call the car amount. Okay, I will say select car amount use state. Okay, and this set car amount, I will just remove this one, I don't want it, and because it's just a value, right? That's the reason. Car amount comma set car amount. Okay, now we are passing this car amount set car amount throughout the all the components. Okay, and save it. Now what you have to do, let's go back to our car component where we are going to select the amount of the car, right? And here you have to define the context first. So constant car amount comma set car amount is equal to use context, and inside that selected car amount context like this. Okay, now this set car amount, here we will replace this with this particular value. So on the click of this, we are just setting this car amount value so that this context will hold and it will make available throughout the application. Okay, so obviously we don't need this particular prop. Okay, and also make sure from here as well we will remove this prop, we don't want. Okay, like this. Now obviously use this same context. Okay, so car amount context inside the booking.tsx. Okay, and I'll remove this one like this. Make sure to import this context. Okay, and this car amount we need to add it here because here is the condition, right? If the car amount is there, only it's showing the gray value, otherwise it will show yellow value, means it disable and enable. Okay, and also what I will do, I will make disable if the car amount value is not there. Okay, so button will be disabled, but right now I will, for testing, I will remove this condition and save it and make sure everything is running as expected. Okay, see, and booking is there and everything. Now obviously once you fill information, select the amount, then only book will show. Let me show you this particular example. So if I select the some value, fine, okay, and if I select the value, okay, so right now we got one error. Let's see the error. Okay, let's make sure everything's saved. So if you see, right, we have in a car.txt on the select we have get cost and item.charge, right? So on select amount is not a function. So here obviously in a car we need to replace this. Okay, so oh, we did not save, actually we have to save this one. Okay, make sure to save it and then we can try it again, and if you see, the changes applied. Okay, perfect. Now once we select and this button is enabled, on the click of this obviously we are redirecting to this payment gateway. Okay, now let's go back to our application, and inside this payment page, let's go to this payment. So inside the payment we have this page.tsx. Okay, so here we are going to implement the payment gateway. Okay, we start implementing the payment gateway here. So first of all, uh, we have defined the amounts which we define, right? So what I will do, I will just copy this use context. Okay, so from the components, booking and cars, okay, we have this, and let's copy this car amount context and I will paste it here instead of writing all of this thing. Okay, and import this use context and this particular car amount context. Okay, like this. Then we have to define the one constant we call stripe promise. Okay, is equal to load stripe. Okay, so another thing, right, let me show you one thing, because I already installed the stripe. You have to install the stripe for React. Okay, if you search for stripe React, and here you will find the first link. Okay, and if I scroll down, here you have to install this particular dependency. Okay, make sure this is very important. So once you install this dependency, then you can able to use the stripe. So obviously once you have this stripe, then you have to use this environment variable, so this particular publisher key. Okay, so I will just copy this one and just write process dot env dot publisher. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, unassignable type string, so I will make it of type any. Let's try to make it this any as well. I don't know why this error is coming. Okay, so or you can do one thing, you can mark it as adds any. Okay, so this will be a string. Once you define this one, right, you have to define some option. So I will just copy paste that option like this. Okay, so it, we don't want this one, so I will remove this, and it, I'm passing the mode of payment amount. Right now I'm passing the random, so you can pass this car amount and the currency. And inside here we have to, you have to define element. Okay, so this, all of this thing you can find on the documentation, but it's little complicated, so I am just simplifying for you. Okay, so this element you have to make sure this importing from the stripe.js. Okay, so make sure to import this particular statement, and here you have to pass some property. The first is stripe. Okay, and you have to pass this stripe promise, so just type stripe promise, and after that you have to pass the options. The option will be options which we already defined. Okay, so if you see it's getting error because right now we did not pass anything, and inside that we create a new component called checkout form. Okay, so let's go to the component folder. Here we'll create a new folder called payment, and inside that I'll create a new file called checkout form.tsx. Okay, and add the default template like this. So I will rename this checkout small o, this. Okay, and save it. Now obviously you have to add this checkout form here like this. Okay, and that's all. So if you see, right, we got this error does not support attribute because it's have props property. Let me see. So here is need to be a elements and not the element, so make sure it's elements. Okay, and also mark this particular page as a use client so that you can use this context. Okay, and save everything. Now let's go back to our application, and if you see, we got this error cannot destructure property car amount as it is. Okay, let's see what's the issue. So here is thing, right, the issue is because this page is out of scope. Okay, so it's not in this particular page. Okay, so here you cannot use the context because it's out of scope, because you did not, it's a completely different page, right, and it's not included in this particular context, so that's you cannot use this particular uh, context here. Okay, so I will remove this one. So what I will do for now, I will just hard code it some value. Okay, so we'll hard code it like this, and we implement the further, and then we will change this particular amount variable. Okay, so once you define this checkout form, let's go to the checkout form, and here we are going to actually implement the form and everything. Okay, with the help of stripe only. So first of all, let's define the stripe. So here you have to define constant type type any is equal to use stripe. Okay, so this use stripe is need to import the, okay, sorry, the use stripe we need to import from the React Type.js. Okay, so I will import it here like this, and there are some few element we also need it. Okay, so second element we have to define it as elements. Okay, use elements. Again, this is importing from the stripe, React Stripe.js. Okay, then we have to define the method. Okay, so inside this return statement, right, I will replace this one, and here we have to add the form. Okay, for the form we have the handle submit method we will implement soon, and then here we have the payment element. Okay, this payment element we need to import. Okay, so you should already have in the React Type.js, so I will add it here like this. Okay, so this will give a predefined a form for our payment gateway. Okay, you don't need to implement the form, and this is a sample button I design it. Okay, just the text, we will modify it later on, and then we have to create a new method called handle submit. So what I will do, I'll create a new method called handle submit here like this. We'll passing the event, so I will do the event payment default, and if the element is equal to null, then we'll return nothing. Okay, and here we have to do the constant submit error. Okay, if there is any error or something like this, if there is any error, it will return nothing again. Okay, like this. So this all the documentation you will get from the Stripey documentation. I will just copy pasting because for the time being. And the next, uh, this is very important. Okay, so make sure this is async. Okay, and what else we miss? So if you see, right, await expression only allowed within async function. Okay, so obviously we need to define inside here like this. Okay, so here I define this fetch method. Okay, you can access my documentation as well, and the source code as well. Here I'm calling new API, and soon we are going to create a new API, which is the endpoint is create intent, and it is of type post, and I'm passing the amount. Okay, so this particular amount, if you see, right, this particular amount we need to pass, and there we'll get some response afterward. Okay, and then this particular amount which is important because we need to pass it to this particular API, and it will generate a secret key. Okay, each time it will generate a new secret key. This secret key we have to get it here. Okay, so I call sec, so you can call secret key like this, and I will just print it out. And here inside the confirm payment method you have to pass this secret key, okay, along with the element and the confirm parameter URL. Okay, so this is the written URL. Right now we are in development, but afterwards you can replace it with the your production URL as well. Okay, and that's all. Now if I save everything and let's go back to our application. Okay, so let's refresh this one. So right now it's just showing the checkout form. Let me, so we change the checkout form, right? Let me go back to page.tsx. Oh, so we rename this one. So let me, if you see, right, this checkout O is capital. Let me replace this rename and save everything. Let's check it now. And if you see, the form is generated. Okay, now this form is auto generated by the uh, Strapi only. Okay, we did not make any changes into that, or anything else. Okay, it automatically generated by the Strapi. Obviously we need to bring it everything in one line or in the middle. Okay, so let's go back to application, and inside the page.tsx we have this checkout form, right? So, or we can directly define it here as well. Okay, so for this form we'll define, we'll add some class name. So add the class name, and we'll do maximum width medium. Okay, and I will wrap this in one div like this, and we'll define class, sorry, class name to be flex. We'll make flex column, and then we'll make justify center and save it. And if I go back, let's see, does it have affected? Try to make it item to be in the center, and also make width to be, oh, we already have this one. And if you see, it's came in the center. Okay, let's give some margin on the top, 5 6 maybe. Perfect. And we have this button as well. Okay, so I will update this button styling as well here. Class name, width to be full, background to be, maybe we'll give yellow 500, and padding to be 2. See how it looks. Okay, and rounded to be large, and margin top 2. Okay, so we have a button. If I try to click button, you will get the error. Okay, I hope you understand this one. And now we have some dummy card number like 42424242. You can add any future date, some CVV. Oops, sorry, refresh my screen by mistakenly. And then you can add the zip code, valid zip code, and country. You can select it and just click pay. Okay, you have option to cash app pay, or you have more option. Okay, you can enable some option from the Stripe as well. Next, the last important thing, we need to create API. As I told you, we need to create API called create intent, and this API will give us the secret key. Okay, so this is very important. This is what we are going to implement next. And if you face any issue, if you have any doubt or any complication while implementing or understanding this particular code, you can refer my code anytime. The link is in the description. Okay, and still, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. Now let's create the payment API. Okay, so inside the API folder we'll create a new folder. Okay, and the name should be this create intent. Okay, so inside API folder we create new folder called create intent, and inside that we'll create another file called route.tsx. Okay, and here now we will add our basic API call. So first we'll do export async, the function, and the function name will be post. Obviously we want the post, right? I will change this param to request. You can keep param as well, as of type any. Okay, and then inside this we have to make sure that we will accept the request parameter. So constant data of type any is equal to await, and from the request we will get the JSON data. Okay, so whatever the amount we pass it to the API, that will store in this data. Okay, and then to retrieve only the amount, we will write data dot amount like this. Then in the try catch block, we will write a catch block as well, and I will write error of type any. Okay, so inside the try block we will define constant payment intent is equal to await stripe dot payment intent. Okay, so this stripe we have to make sure we have to define this stripe constant. So at the top I will define this stripe payment, okay, is equal to new stripe. So this need to be a capital stripe like this, and obviously we need to make sure that we will import this stripe and load stripe. Or just we need a stripe actually. We'll just import this stripe like this. Okay, and here we have to pass the secret key. Okay, env dot stripe secret key, which already have in the .env file. Okay, and then I have to give this exclamatory mark. Okay, very important. And then we have to write Typescript to be true. So we have to inform, okay, this is a TypeScript and API version. Okay, so right now, if right now this is the API version I'm using, but if you get the error and just hover on it, and it will give the exact API version. Okay, it's actually date, but it mentioned like this. And after this one, the payment intent, you have to create it, and inside that you have to pass the amount. So amount of type number. Okay, then you have to write the currency. So currency, you have to mention the currency as well. Okay, so currency, right now I will do the USD. Okay, and then the response, we will write the response here. After this one we'll just write the return and next response dot JSON, and the payment intent by intent, actually I want intent, payment intent dot client secret. See, okay, and then I will pass the status of 2200 if it's successful. So this need to be small stripe like this. Okay, so this need to be intents. Okay, so s need to be there, and if there is any error, so we'll just pass the status code 400 like this and save everything. Now once you save, obviously make sure in checkout form we have this API endpoint, the method is post, and then we are passing the amount as a 58. Right now is we are passing hard coded, but you can pass once you we get it from this car selection. Okay, but for the testing purpose we are passing the hard coded value. And now on the redirect URL is the home URL. Okay, but because we are redirecting to the home page, and make sure everything is correct, save everything, and let's go back to our application now. Okay, so let's go back 3000 and let's try to book the um, taxi. Okay, so like this, and select the any car. Okay, so if you see the button is enabled, select the payment method and click book. So once you click book, it will redirect to this particular payment gateway page. Add the default page, add some date, okay, the United States and the zip code I added. You can save this, okay, and just click pay. Now once you click pay, if you see it's reloading, right, and it's done, but I don't know whether it's redirected or not. Let's see, do we have any error? And right now it's done, right? The payment is get successful. Let's try to find it in the home. Let's refresh the screen, and if you see the payment is done. Okay, So the new payment, if you want to search, I don't know where it is, I can search it, but let's search view. Okay, so total is 113. Before it was 28, but I made, I think, two payment, I don't know. Okay, so total is $88.58. Okay, and this is yesterday's one, so we made actual two payment maybe. And if you see the 58, okay, it's 0.58, because if I go to this, where it is, inside this API, right, you have to multiply it by 100. So whatever value pass, it will be there. Okay, because otherwise it's considered as a cent only. Okay, so see, 58 cent. Perfect. And this is all everything is stored, the payment method, everything. Okay, perfect. I hope you understand this one. Okay, the redirect URL, just make sure that it's redirecting or not. Okay, but if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. And if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. So I hope you understand this payment gateway method and everything. Okay, if you have any question, put it in the comment. And also we get this direction and we learn a lot of things in this particular section.